The following contest is a submission match. On the way to the ring, from New York, New York, Ashley. And the opponent, from Los Angeles, California, Melina.
A big bienvenue to our fans around the world from Montreal, Quebec. Jim Ross here with Jerry the King Lawler.
Folks, let me assure you that tonight's show is a lot better than JR's French. Sheesh.
Well, there's no question of that, King. These Montreal fans are ready to get started, and so am I. So what are we waiting for?
Boy, Melina's one of those divas you just can't take your eyes off of, JR.
You certainly can't, especially if you're the referee. You know it's only a matter of time before this Jezebel tries to take advantage in this matchup.
You say that like it's a bad thing, JR. I wouldn't mind if she tried to take advantage of me.
Boy, what a match. I wouldn't even hazard a guess as to who's going to win this thing.
What? Have you got both your contacts in one eye, JR? It's been obvious to me since the start of the match.
Oh, really? Well then, why don't you just enlighten the rest of us, King?
No way! I can already tell this is going to be a great match, and I don't want to ruin the ending for you.
You're too kind, King. You're also full of horse manure, as far as I can tell.
Ashley's stamina is incredible. Most divas would be completely exhausted by now.
What are you talking about? She doesn't look that tired to me.
She should be. She's been running through my mind all night long.
You've got to be in seventh heaven, Kingfish. It's not often we get to see Melina in action like this.
Oh boy, that exposed turnbuckle is going to leave a mark, JR.
It sure is, and it might also leave this superstar unable to finish this match. My God, what a brutal assault. And yet, I have to admit, the strategy is sound.
It's not the fanciest move, JR, but driving your opponent's head into an exposed turnbuckle like that sure does take the fight out of him. I know this kind of thing makes you squeamish, JR, but I love it when a superstar uses the ring itself against his opponent.
Well, I certainly wouldn't call it sportsmanlike, but can't say that it's illegal either. I knew that exposed turnbuckle was trouble.
And you were right, JR. When a head meets a steel turnbuckle, the steel wins.
Good grief! Even when it's covered, being driven headfirst into that turnbuckle isn't a very pleasant experience.
Yeah, and this one isn't covered, JR. That steel is exposed, and it's doing a number on this superstar.
These superstars are going to put each other through wrestling hell tonight.
They've already got a pretty good start on that, JR.
They have indeed, King. I don't think there's an ounce of quit between them.
Yeah, and that's where things get dangerous. If you're too proud to admit that it's not your night, you might wind up risking your career for a single match.
But at the same time, King, no one makes it up the ladder without pushing themselves to the very limit. It's a very fine line to walk.
Man, is there even going to be anything left of these superstars by the time they're done?
Not if they have their way, King. This capacity crowd is solidly behind their superstar. Look at this!
Wow, could you be any more biased, JR? How about some fair and balanced commentary? If any superstar shows the slightest hint of weakness, they've lost the match.
That's for sure. No matter how beat, I guess a little sportsmanship is too much to ask for.
I guess so, JR. But where's the fun in that?
Sounds like this crowd's got something on their minds, King.
Who cares about them, JR? Look what's going on in the ring. I don't think that these superstars have even contemplated the fact that they might lose.
I'm sure they have. That's not the kind of attitude to come in with and expect to pick up the win.
You're right about that, JR. If you can't see yourself having your arm raised by the referee when it's over, don't bother showing up. Oh, man. I'd like nothing better than for Ashley to take me home and call me daddy.
Or grandpa, as the case may be.
I know a woman like Melina's nothing but trouble, JR, but I think she might just be the trouble I've been looking for.
You and half the fans in this arena, King. Melina certainly has no shortage of admirers, that's for sure. This match is going to continue until someone's completely debilitated. And considering the resiliency of these supers, look at this! Look at this! You talk about a house of fire, you're seeing it right here!
Yeah? Well, somebody better put out that fire, or this one's not going to end well. I think these superstars have a legitimate beef with each other, JR.
So do I, King. I'm not so sure their issues with each other are going to be solved with one match.
I hope not. I'd love to see them go again and again.
Listen, mister, Ashley's more than just another pretty face, but she certainly is a beautiful young diva.
Yeah, she's got a beautiful smile, but what I really love is her...
The next words out of your mouth had better be her competitive spirit.
Man, you're the only person I know who can take the fun out of watching...
No! No! How can the referee allow something like that?
Come on, JR. You know that the referee's health plan doesn't include vision. Are you sure they can afford it, JR? You talk about ruthless aggression. Look at the way these superstars have been going after each other.
They're not playing with kid gloves, that's for sure.
We knew we were going to see a heck of a match, but this might turn out to be... No. Go ahead and say it, JR.
All right, I will. I think this one's got all the makings of a bona fide slobber knocker. It's an unusual treat to see the bodacious Melina active competition. She's typically known as the brains behind superstars like Johnny Nitro.
That's a little disrespectful to Nitro, isn't it, JR? Are you saying that he'd be lost? I think someone's going for a high-risk move, JR. This has gone beyond just being a match, JR. I think these superstars genuinely...
There's no love lost between these competitors, that's for sure. If looks could kill, somebody would be pushing up daisies right now.
And you've got to admit, that makes for a much more interesting match, JR.
It sure does. But I just hope these superstars can settle their differences in the ring and leave it at that. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears have been shed in that very ring.
And I think there's going to be a lot more shed here tonight.
No doubt about that, King. These superstars are going to leave it all in the ring. You can count on that.
Talked to these superstars backstage before the match, and I don't think I've ever seen competitors so ready to get it on.
And that's coming through loud and clear here tonight in this match. They're not taking it easy on each other either.
It's been said a million times, but I'll say it again. This isn't ballet. Ruthless aggression is the name of the game. I think I see where this one's going, JR. I don't think we're very far from the end of the match.
I disagree entirely, King. I bet my Oklahoma Sooner ass that this one isn't even close to being.
That's a pretty big bet, JR. Are you sure you're able to cover it?
What an incredible performance by these phenomenal superstars.
Did you expect anything less, JR? I mean, look who's in the ring right now.
No, I didn't, King. I had high expectations, and I'm happy to say that this match has exceeded them all. Ashley is one diva who doesn't know the meaning of the word quit.
Yeah, or the meaning of the words, call me back when you get this. I must have left a dozen messages for her in the past couple of days.
I'll be honest with you, King. This is not the way I thought this match would go at all.
Me neither, JR. I guess that just goes to show that anything can happen in the WWE.
I think you hit the nail right on the head, King. And it's that unpredictability that makes it so exciting. These superstars are in terrific shape, and that comes as no surprise whatsoever.
No kidding. If you don't have that conditioning, you're not going to last long in a match.
You sure aren't. And that's only one of the many reasons I try to stay out of the ring whenever possible. This is a risky move. It could prove to be disastrous.
I don't think these superstars have any intention of taking it easy on each other tonight.
That's not what they signed up for, King. And quite frankly, I think these fans would be disappointed if they didn't go all out.
Well, that's easy for the fans to say. They've never set foot inside that ring.
No, but they spend their hard-earned dollars to watch what goes on inside it. And without them, we'd all be out of a job. is such an amazing young talent, and what a rack. What a great addition she would be to the women's championship picture.
I can't imagine there are many things you could add Melina to that wouldn't make them better, JR. I can think of one or two right off the top of my head.
Yeah, and if I know you, King, you better keep them to yourself. This is a family program, you know. Ashley is one of the most beautiful and athletic divas it has ever been my privilege to watch.
Beautiful and athletic. That's everything I look for in a woman.
You might want to improve your odds by adding grind and depth to that list, too.
I think it's pretty obvious which way this one's gonna go, JR.
Well, from my perspective, this is still anybody's match.
I'd like to see things from your perspective, JR, but I'd have to get my head out of my rear end first.
And Lord knows it's been up there for so long that that would be no easy feat. Oh no! The referee's been knocked out! This can't be good!
Are you kidding? Now anything goes! It doesn't get any better than that, JR. Did you ever think you'd be watching these superstars compete against each other here tonight, JR?
I had a feeling their paths were going to cross sooner or later, and I'm glad I'm here to see it.
Me too. It almost makes it worth having to sit next to you and listen to those corny expressions of yours. What the heck is a government mule anyway?
It's what you get beat like. These top rope moves are always difference makers, for better or worse.
Can you believe we actually get paid to do this job, JR?
It's like a dream come true, King. Except when I have to sit here and listen to you drool over the deal.
Come on, JR. You know I'm helpless when it comes to puppies.
Oh, I know, King. And that's why I'm bringing a pitcher of ice water out here with me next time.
The intensity of these superstars is unbelievable.
No doubt about that, King. The fans are getting their money's worth here tonight. I'll tell you what, King, the WWE Superstars are about the greatest athletes you'll find in any sport, period.
You mean just about, JR? Can you actually think of anywhere else that you can see athletes of this caliber?
I was just going for a little humility there, King. I'm not surprised it was lost on you. Oh, man, I think we're about to see a high-risk move here.
Wow! Listen to these fans, JR!
You can fool some of the people all of the time, and all the people some of the time, but there's no fooling the WWE fans at all.
You think these fans have gotten their money's worth tonight, JR?
If they haven't yet, I'm sure they're going to by the end of this match.
Well, I don't say this too often, but I completely agree with you.
You've got to ask yourself, how much punishment will these superstars be able to withstand tonight?
I don't know, JR, but I think they're pretty intent on finding out.
They certainly are. I don't know how it's going to end, but I can guarantee you they're going to leave it all in the ring.
tell you, JR, this one has the potential to be a Match of the Year candidate.
No doubt about it, King. As far as I'm concerned, any WWE match has that potential. Everyone on the roster is an accomplished wrestler.
I feel like the luckiest guy in the world, JR. I can't believe I actually get paid to do this job.
Well, don't let Mr. McMahon hear you say that, King, or you might wind up having to do it for free.
That's true. I don't want to say that Mr. McMahon's cheap, JR, but it looks like someone's heading for the high rent district.
I'm sure these competitors have studied each other very carefully.
This match would be over by now if they hadn't, JR. You never get into the ring without doing your homework.
That would be a recipe for disaster for sure, King.
Oh boy, these top rope moves can go either way.
Here's your winner, Melina.